You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, a train derailment in Woodson County leaves authorities to clean up the mess.
And we learn more about crop challenges in southeast Kansas due to a severe ongoing drought.
And we're getting a little bit of relief from that drought with some rain showers across the area. Even though the rain is stopping, we've got more on the way. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Authorities in Woodson County, Kansas clean up a train derailment. Union Pacific says the derailment was caused by a semi-truck colliding with the train. Officials with Union Pacific say it happened around 10 a.m. on Monday. The Kansas Highway Patrol crash report says a semi going east on 80th Road southeast of Ye Center failed to yield at the railroad tracks. 24 rail cars and 5 locomotives were derailed, but most were empty. Some, though, were carrying cottonseed, plastic pellets, and fertilizer. No Union Pacific employees on the train were injured. The semi-driver was taken to a Wichita hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Pittsburgh area residents gathered to discuss changes and improvements for the community through the year of 2030. KOAM's Yana Dula talked with city officials and has more.
Pittsburgh area residents discussed future plans together at Pittsburgh State University inside the Bignell Family Center for the Arts, one of the community's successes since the first Imagine Pittsburgh plan in 2012.
It's sponsored by the Pittsburgh Area Chamber, but it has input from so many different stakeholders in our community because it really is, again, a community vision plan, and we want it to reflect the priorities of the community.
The Chamber conducted an online survey in February to understand the needs of the community. Items being discussed include quality of place, neighborhood revitalization, and growth.
To get a little bit more context and drill down a little bit deeper to find out exactly where the community feels like our priorities should be.
Pitt State professor Rocky Restivo wants to bring up transportation for individuals who don't have cars.
It's kind of frustrating that I can't just jump on public transportation or just ride my bike from one end of the city to the other without, fear of being hit by a car, or there's no bike lanes and things of that nature.
Realtor Brian Jonas's perspective is how to get better and more housing.
We didn't grow very well back in the 70s and 80s. We are now starting to grow. We could use more builders, contractors to come in and help us do that. Not that we don't have contractors, but they are busy and we just need more for new construction and new housing.
Area Chamber of Commerce officials say the discussions will be taken into consideration and the group will come back in the fall to present projects for the community. In Pittsburgh, Janna Hautala, KOAM News.
This was the first of the community conversations. The next will be this coming Thursday at Meadowlark Elementary School at 6 p.m. Everyone is welcome.
We've had some overnight rain across the area. Still a couple of stray showers hanging on out there, but those are on the way out. And as we've seen, this rain activity not really moving much because it will continue to kind of fall apart. But don't worry, more rain will develop across Oklahoma and move into our area later this afternoon. So we get rid of these showers this morning. We'll have mostly cloudy skies, a few peaks of the sun. By 3-4 o'clock, here comes our next batch of showers and thunderstorms across the area. And this will last with us through about 10 o'clock to midnight. As we go through the rest of the week, still looking to pick up 1 inch, 2, 3, 3.5 inches of rain across the area, which is good news for some of those really drought-stricken parts of southeast Kansas and northeast Oklahoma. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line, looking back to the south. Roads are beginning to dry out. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400, and they'll have an opportunity to do so. So we still can see a few peaks of the sun, but will otherwise be mostly cloudy out there through the day. 46 in Joplin feels like 43 right now. Temperatures across the area look like this: 46 Lamar, Pittsburgh, 48 Parsons, Neodesha, 46 Miami, Neosho, and 42 in Monette. We get the morning started. The remaining showers exit out of here. Mostly cloudy skies, lower 50s by late morning and still below average, and that's going to be the trend for the next several days as well. Highs in the lower 60s today. Again, a few peaks of sunshine, and by 4 o'clock, showers and thunderstorms begin to return to the area. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. The National Weather Service in Wichita says 3 towns in southeast Kansas are experiencing record-breaking dry spells. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to field scientists and a producers cooperative about the impact on crops.
Some farmers in southeast Kansas are still waiting for those April showers. After all, they're experiencing an ongoing drought.
We've had a lot of timely rains right now, but if we run out of that luck and it starts to become obviously a lot drier, and we don't get those timely rains, then it's going to be a big issue.
The Producers Cooperation Association in Girard is helping farmers get by, but they might have to start importing grain if the dry weather continues.
Whether that be from the Corn Belt that is north, northern Midwest, or some other place, we have to source that either via rail or by truck.
We have not had to do that as of yet. We've been very fortunate. Even last year's drought, we had enough just to kind of get us by, and we actually got along pretty well.
The current drought started last July.
It's just a situation based upon a previous situation where a drought builds onto yet another drought, and there's absolutely nothing left in the profile. So, yeah, we just need another rain.
Scientists from Kansas State monitor farmland across southeast Kansas.
The concern is we did not produce the hay we used to produce every year, so we are getting low in our stocks. And at this time of the year, we're supposed to have at least our fescue fields getting back, right? And as you guys can see here, the corn is still struggling with it. As we can see as well, in our fescue fields will be the same.
Battling dry spells isn't new to southeast Kansas. It's a part of the lifestyle.
Like I said, history will repeat itself. We will go through a drought and then we will bounce right back out of it. And it's not a first and it won't be the last.
Reporting in Girard, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
K-State scientists recommend farmers start planting summer crops now because of the dry weather. Well, coming up, Jasmine Kyle from the SEK Humane Society stops on in. I hear our pet connection this week is really adorable.
And later, a teacher in Virginia raises $40,000 to help pay for his students' lunch debt. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from Fort Scott.
In Health Watch this morning, if you ever got sick with COVID, did you notice your dog acting any different? A new study shows they're pretty good at detecting it. Researchers in California trained 2 Labrador retrievers to sniff for volatile organic compounds on people's ankles. They brought them to 27 schools, and it turns out the dogs detected 85 infections and ruled out more than 3,400 others. Well, many doctors would agree fried foods are not good for you, and now there's new evidence to suggest fried foods are not just bad for your physical health, but your mental health as well. A study from China found eating fried foods, especially fried potatoes, increases a person's risk for anxiety and depression. Researchers found a 12% higher risk for anxiety and a 7% higher risk for depression compared with people who stayed away from fried foods. Well, a new study finds wearing a good sports bra could improve running performance. Researchers from the University of Memphis looked at 12 runners who wore high and low support bras, and then they compared it to wearing none at all. Those who wore the better sports bra had a 5% increase in knee stiffness, which improves running. That's compared to 2% increase for those who wore low support bras. One new study finds patients are slightly more likely to buy more expensive medicine when they receive bad news. The research published in the Journal of Marketing found people think differently when they hear bad medical news about themselves. The study says people will choose brand name medicine that's more expensive because they think it works better. That's compared to picking cheaper generic medicine. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. In studio with us this morning, we've got Jasmine Kyle from the SEK Humane Society. And this is Forrest?
Yes, isn't he a cutie? He's so sweet. So yeah, this is Forrest. Forrest is a little under 2 months old. He has 4 siblings.
Oh, wow.
Forrest being for Forrest Gump. There are 3 boys, 2 girls. Forrest, Lieutenant Dan, Bubba, and then our 2 girls, of course, are Jenny and Carla. Now, sadly, these guys were dumped into the county, surrendered to animal control, which we got the call for. And we, of course, took the kids into our no-kill facility. So right now, the biggest thing for them right now is looking for homes, because a shelter is in no way a life for any dog, but it's extremely hard for puppies. So what we'd really like to see is if you are interested in fostering or even fostering to adopt. So with fostering to adopt, you are taking that potential adoptability for that dog of raising them in your own home. You get to know that dog, you get to grow up with the dog. And then, for example, once Forrest reaches 3 months of age, he would be neutered next. And then after a week of surgical hold, which can be right back at your household, he would be cleared for adoption. So if you're looking for a dog, especially a puppy, and want to see how it works, this is the perfect moment for you.
Right.
Because no matter—
there's 5 to pick from.
Yeah, there's 5 to pick from. And if it doesn't work out, if you change your mind, you know, once that time comes, it's absolutely fine. You know, they got to live outside of the shelter. We're able, you know, to share your stories and share your photos of that puppy in your home. And that way people, I can't tell you how much that changes adoptions at every shelter within the United States, is to see them growing up with kids and seeing them on your couch. And if you're not adopting, then it makes potential adopters look at that dog and dream of that dog on their couch, dream of that dog interacting with their kids, being like, I want that dog for my family. That's my family dog, right? So no matter what, whether that's regular fostering or fostering to adopt, it helps not only your family, it helps these dogs for their future.
Yeah. Now you guys have new hours.
Yes.
That we want to talk about.
Yes, so that is going to be brand new. So we are returning from the whole pandemic. So we will be open now 5 days a week, which is super exciting. We'll be closed Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and then we'll be open Thursdays through Mondays. That's going to be effective May 4th. Of course, Star Wars Day. So we have a really cool partnership with Bizzle, which we're going to be releasing here soon for an adoption special in May. And then on Star Wars Day, if you adopt from our facility, you get a brand new Star Wars dog toy too.
Oh, cool.
From Chewy.
May the 4th be with you.
Yes.
Yes. Well, that'll be good. 5 days a week, that'll be awesome.
Yes, we're super excited for the public to come out, for volunteers to get started, but that is going to be effective May 4th.
Well, if you're interested in fostering, do you have the pictures of all 5 of them up on your website?
We do
Facebook?
not. Yeah, we do on Facebook. We're actually going to be posting about them today. Today's kind of their first grand reveal to the public. So you will see that on our Facebook. You'll see our email and how you can contact us. You can sign up for fostering online, the whole 9 yards.
All right, that sounds wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming in. We'll see you in a couple weeks, and we'll be right back.
Well, Virginia teacher is trying to help struggling families. Special education teacher raised more than $40,000 to pay off his entire school's lunch debt.
Megan Clark has the story.
8th grade teacher Gabriel Siegel knows his students here at Hornton Middle School in Fairfax County like they're his own kids.
When I see students, like even if it's one of my students I mentor that's having a rough day, the first question I ask him isn't, hey, are you okay, or how are you? It's, did you eat today? Because the majority of the time they're not eating.
A problem Siegel first noticed talking to parents before the pandemic.
Just through conversation with them, I learned that this was a common theme of school meal debt.
In Fairfax County, middle school meals cost $3.50, with a half pint of milk, $4.10. The district says about a third of students do get free meals or help to pay. According to Capital Area Food Bank's 2022 Hunger Report, 24% of residents in Fairfax County, where the median household income is more than $100,000, struggle with food insecurity.
So if you have a family of 4 and they're all eating lunch, that can quickly add up.
With inflation sticking around, Siegel, the adopted son of 2 FCPS high school teachers, decided to carry on the legacy of caring for kids.
And my whole point is to not only raise money, but also raise awareness.
He now spends hours each week calling nonprofits. His effort featured in the Washington Post earlier this year. And since then, he's raised even more, for a total of more than $40,000. And this isn't the first time Mr. Siegel paid off student lunch debt. The last time he did this, he used his stimulus check to pay off more than $600 in student lunch debt at Sleepy Hollow Elementary. As Siegel says, meal debt in Fairfax County is nearing $1 million. He wants to keep the message going, now meeting with county and state leaders to get free lunches in all Virginia schools, no matter what parents make.
Because a lot of families need help. I mean, it's just that simple. If I can impact, just one family or even dozens, I know I've done something pretty special.
I know a lot of families took a hit this year when free lunches were eliminated.
Yeah.
Back to income based. And there's a lot of people on that line where it really makes a difference.
Yeah, it may not seem like it
up.
because, they judge based on income guidelines, but sometimes that income, like you said, is just right over that threshold and it doesn't leave enough to cover some of these meal costs. So it's a great job of him stepping up out there.
That was very nice, very much.
We've got some rain showers across the area. There's a couple more still lingering out there, but they will be moving out. They're in parts of southern Cherokee County and Ottawa County. And these showers will eventually make their way on out of here, and then we'll get a pause in the rain activity before additional showers and thunderstorms develop later this afternoon. So let's take a look at later this afternoon. Here we are about 3-4 o'clock. Here comes that batch of showers and thunderstorms out of Oklahoma, and that'll persist through about 10 to midnight, and then it stops. We hang on to the clouds and we head into tomorrow, and by tomorrow afternoon here comes another round of showers and a couple of thunderstorms across the area. That one doesn't last nearly as long. Once it exits, we have a longer pause, and then by about 5-6 o'clock Thursday morning, more showers and thunderstorms start to roll in, and these will hold on for some of us into the early afternoon hours. And we are still, again, expecting 1, 2, 3, 3.5, almost 4 inches of rain through Friday for some of us. And again, that is much needed rain across the area. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line. The sun is trying to come out, but you can see from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400, no such luck on that sunshine because we've still got a lot of areas socked in with clouds. We'll be mostly cloudy through today. We're at 46 in Joplin, 43 is what it feels like. Sitting at 46 in Pittsburgh, Lamar, Carthage, Neosho, Anderson, and Grove, 48 Miami, Chatopa, Parsons, and 49 in Chanute. So we go through the rest of our morning. Those showers get out of here. We'll have mostly cloudy skies, lower 50s by late morning. As we head into the afternoon, temperatures pushing into the lower 60s. Again, a few peaks of sunshine by 4. Showers and storms begin to return to the area. And as we head into the evening, showers, thunderstorms across the region, and we cool back down into the upper 40s for our overnight lows. We'll have more on your forecast and more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:27. There are 2 national park properties in our area. One is George Washington Carver National Monument in Diamond, Missouri. And KOAM's Carrie Worthen took a trip out to the other one, the Fort Scott National Historic Site, in honor of National Park Week.
So national parks are the story of America. They're the decisions we've made, good and bad. It's what we've done through history that make us Americans.
National Parks Week started in 1991 as part of the 75th anniversary of the Park Service.
There's cultural parks, there's natural parks, and there's parks that are combinations of both. This is Fort Scott National Historic Site is a combination of cultural and natural, more on the cultural side.
According to the National Park Service statistics, nearly 27,000 people visited Fort Scott National Historic Site in 2022. Elizabeth Emmons is just one of them passing through.
By learning history, it's amazing how similar the themes back 150, 170 years ago carry through today. Very familiar. And if we don't learn from the past, we're going to continue having the present that we have.
Ranger Carl Brenner says that sites like these allow people to learn the history that happened in the area.
Sometimes we don't know the barriers exist. So when you come out and talk with us, we'll hopefully be able to understand that better and try to make it easier and more enjoyable for you.
In Fort Scott's case, visitors learn about the Civil War era on the Kansas-Missouri border.
The very first African American troops to see federal service, to fight for their freedom and the freedom of all Americans, and they were mustered in on the parade ground of this site 13 days after the Emancipation Proclamation.
For visitors like Emmons, it's a window to the past.
Well, I think it's an incredible complete preservation of the site. It's fascinating. I like the architecture. The visitor film provided a great history leading up to the founding of the fort itself, and then through the Civil War and after.
Out of the 20 buildings at the National Historic Site, 11 are original to the fort.
We've still got a few scattered showers out there this morning. They're on their way out as the morning progresses. Some of us could see a few peaks of sunshine, but most of us going to remain cloudy, mostly cloudy, lower 50s by late morning. As we go into the afternoon, temperatures below average. We'll only be pushing into the lower 60s today, but we'll get a brief break in the rain before showers and thunderstorms start creeping back in by 3, 4 o'clock. And those will hold on with us into the overnight hours. The good news is, again, any thunderstorms this week, we just don't have the environment for strong or severe storms, just some good old-fashioned rumbles of thunder out there. Again, these persisting through the overnight hours, some periods of heavy rain possible back into the upper 40s for overnight lows. Below average is the theme for the next several days. Let me check out Thursday, upper 50s. Rain will also be the theme all the way through Saturday morning. Overnight lows for the most part in the 40s, some upper 30s out there. We'll get a break in the shower and thunderstorm activity Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week. We're still below average. And then we see additional thunderstorm chances as we head into next Wednesday. And as you can see on this forecast, our average highs, lower 70s, and we're not going to be near that for quite some time. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. Kansas is joining an effort that could one day make it easier to hire teachers from other states. A bill signed by Governor Laura Kelly makes the state the latest member of the Interstate Teacher Mobility Compact. Compact is a creation of the Council of State Governments. 10 states are required to fully enact the compact, and Kansas is only the 4th. The Baxter Springs School District will adopt a 4-day school week. The Tuesday through Friday schedule will begin with the start of the new school year. School superintendent says the new schedule is designed to give students an extra day off, which is expected to help them better balance their academics. He also says the main reason for the transition is due to the lack of qualified staff.
Over the years, the number of applicants that are applying has been diminishing across the board, and we've experienced some of our upper level courses where we're having a hard time getting qualified applicants.
Superintendent says the school district has received support from the community and will open Lincoln Elementary School on Mondays to provide free childcare for parents. Well, some local students showed their appreciation for healthcare heroes with some art. 24 Stapleton Elementary School students in Joplin created sidewalk chalk showing thanks and appreciation outside of Freeman Hospital West. Students are members of the school's art club and SOAR team. A lot of messages include the words love and thank you and a lot of red hearts.
All those 3 things, because I love my friends, I love the people around me. If they're strangers or not, I always still give them a smile. And smiles are contagious. They spread.
It's mainly to help our community and make them feel whenever they have those long days and where they just feel like it can be tough, they can just have something to push them through the day.
A teacher says the art shows the honor and respect the students have for Freeman's doctors, physicians, and nurses. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. We'll take you out to the ball game, only you can expect a few changes. It's called Beep Ball, and it's a baseball game that's seen some modifications for blind players.
And we've still got a couple of stray showers out there, clouds hanging on, more showers on the way later today. We'll talk about those rain chances a little later, but first, here's a live look from Fort Scott. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. We are joined once again by our good friend Charlene Patton from the Kansas Soybean Commission. Welcome back to the show. Long drive from Topeka to here, but we are so glad you are here because you've had some great recipes this month. You have that awesome book over there that we'll talk about. But first, we got to talk about what we're doing right here. This one looks a little easier, and it looks like I may not be able to spill things like I did last week.
Oh, you did okay. I love this recipe because, as you said, this is an easy recipe to have. We've been featuring really different soy ingredients all month because April's National Soy Foods Month. This one uses plain soy yogurt.
Okay.
And so easy to find in the grocery store. And it's going to be our base, and that will give us the soy protein we need for this recipe.
Okay.
What I did ahead of time, we'll start out with this one. This doesn't look like it is a cup of onions, does it?
It does not.
I took 1 cup of chopped onion. You can use yellow or white. I like to use a sweet onion. Put that in your skillet with a tablespoon of vegetable oil, which we know is a soybean product.
We learned about that.
Saute it until it's golden brown and until the onions are nice and tender there.
Okay.
I'm going to give that back to you, and here's your spatula.
All right.
And I'll let you put that in with our yogurt. So that will be cooled off now, and we'll add that. And this really has several kinds of onion in it. I love that. If you like an onion dip, this is really a nice fresh one. Then we have a little bit of Worcestershire sauce.
Okay.
And then if you wanted to add a little bit of seasoning, some sugar, a little bit of salt, somehow the sugar kind of brings out the flavor of the onions just a little bit.
I gotcha.
And a little bit of salt, but if you don't want to, that's kind of optional, up to you.
Okay.
Then we're going to stir in, these are the French fried onions, gives it some crunch, and then another flavor of the onions.
Oh, yeah.
I like to make this a little bit ahead of time, let it refrigerate to blend all those flavors. And then what we're serving it with is all kinds of vegetables. We're topping it here for a garnish. I put just a little bit more of the French onion there, and then a little bit of green onion there.
I saw those green onions. Those are pretty good too.
And serve it with crackers or relishes. And then you mentioned this, one last chance here for the month of April. I love it that we're offering this book for National Soy Foods Month. But all you have to do is go to our website, and I think it's on your website too.
Yes, it is.
That we provided the link. It's free. It's 15 pages. All the greatest, newest information on the benefits of soy. It has 2 of the recipes that we've done this month. And then it also has a glossary. So if you're wondering, gosh, how do they make the plain yogurt that we did here? It has that information in here and how much soy protein you're getting. So we invite everyone to do this. You can also call our office at 877-KS-SOYBEAN, and we'll mail all the recipes for the month of April.
All right, Charlene, thank you so much. And as she mentioned, you can find all of this on our website as well at KOAMnewsnow.com. We will be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:41 on this Tuesday. Still a couple of stray showers out here, but these are on their way out of here, and we'll take a pause from the rain that we got overnight as we head through the majority of our day before we see additional showers and thunderstorms develop across Oklahoma and start to move in our way later this afternoon. And here we are about 3-4 o'clock. Here's a big batch of showers, a few thunderstorms out there, and these will stick with us through the overnight hours into very early tomorrow morning before we get another pause. And then tomorrow afternoon, more showers, more thunderstorms across the area. These clear out a little quicker, and we get a longer break into the overnight on Wednesday before we see more showers and thunderstorms moving in from the south between about 5-6 o'clock in the morning. And these showers and storms will stick with us a little bit longer as we head into our Thursday, and then we'll see another round of showers and thunderstorms Friday into Saturday morning. So we're looking to still pick up another inch, 2, 3, upwards of almost 4 inches of rain across the area for some of us, which is great news for some of those drought-stricken areas. MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline. We are getting some sunlight on the Missouri side, but we look at the KDOT camera at 69 and 400. Not so much sunlight there, and you can see off toward Pittsburgh the cloud cover that's still in place, but in Joplin, getting some peaks of sun, but more clouds on the way. We're at 46, feeling like 43. Temperatures across the area, you have 48 in Pittsburgh Parsons, 49 Chanute, Neodesha, 46 Chatopa, Miami, Neosho, Carthage, and Lamar. And again, as we get our morning started, the remaining showers will exit out. A few peaks of sun, otherwise cloudy, low 50s. And temperatures today below average as we've got highs only pushing into the lower 60s. And then by about 4 o'clock or so, that's when we're going to start to see another round of showers and thunderstorms roll into the area. That's a check of your forecast. Now here's Tanya Bach with a check of Consumer Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. Netflix is making a huge investment in South Korea. The company plans to invest $2.5 billion over the next 4 years to produce Korean TV shows, movies, and reality shows. Sarando says the investment is double what the streaming company has invested in South Korea between 2016 and 2022. According to Netflix, 4 out of 10 all-time most watched non-English TV contents are Korean, citing Squid Game, All of Us Are Dead, The Glory, and Extraordinary Attorney Woo. Disney says it's laying off several thousand workers across the company this week. The cuts affect its parks, entertainment division, and experiences and products division, as well as ESPN. This is the second of 3 waves of layoffs for a total elimination of 7,000 jobs. That's about 3% of Disney's global workforce. The jury is set in a copyright trial against singer-songwriter Ed Sheeran. The jury was seated Monday in New York. Opening statements begin today. Sheeran is being sued over his song Thinking Out Loud. The plaintiffs claim it copies the Marvin Gaye classic Let's Get It On. The plaintiffs are the heirs of Ed Townsend, who co-wrote Let's Get It On. Last year, Sheeran successfully fought a lawsuit that accused him of infringement regarding another of his hits, Shape of You. Well, there is an emerging threat to Apple users everywhere, and victims are left permanently locked out of their accounts. According to the Wall Street Journal, some people are reporting their bank accounts were drained after thieves gained access to their apps. Mike Valerio explains how it works and how you can protect yourself.
It's a feature meant to protect you.
A method for Apple to be able to verify that you say who you really are.
But the Wall Street Journal reports thieves are exploiting recovery keys to lock you out of your account.
They can just generate a new recovery key, basically take over all of your information, your data, any of your apps.
For it to work, thieves have to know your passcode and have physical access to your phone.
A lot of the times it's in crowded areas where the thieves are, looking for people that are easy marks, easy targets, and they will watch them pull out their phones and watch them enter in their passcodes.
In a statement, Apple says it's always investigating additional protections against emerging threats. In the meantime, here's what you can do to protect yourself. Apple's screen time setting allows parents to set up a secondary password to help control how long their children are on the phone. You can use that to add a second layer of protection on your own device. Also, back up your phone to the cloud often. This will help you recover your data if the worst happens. And most importantly, guard your passcode when in public by covering your screen or using Apple's facial recognition.
You want to think of it as like your house key, because you're almost letting the people in. When the thieves steal your phone, they're getting into your life.
In Los Angeles, I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
We'll be right back with more after this, but first, let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. Well, a form of baseball focusing on sound is letting blind people play the sport.
Kim Leffler reports.
People love baseball for so many reasons, waiting for just the right pitch and hitting the ball out of the park. But for Garrick Scott, it's all about the chance to run.
In my mind, I'm a cross between Carl Lewis and Jesse Owens. In my mind, but just feeling like speed, being able to run as fast as you can. That's exhilarating.
But he says it's not something he can always do safely. That's where Beep Baseball comes in, designed for the blind and visually impaired. Scott was born with retinitis pigmentosus and his vision deteriorated around the age of 18. His friends introduced him to the sport in 2013. He's been part of the Atlanta Chaos for the last 3 years.
Blind people aren't delicate pieces of chandelier. We bump into stuff all the time. It shouldn't be that amazing. We get out here and dive on the ground and run and hit the ball.
Both the ball and cylinder on the bases beep, so the players know where to go.
It's a hearing game, basically.
Ready, set, pitch.
At the command of pitch, a base operator will either hit the first base or the third base. That's what the batter is listening for. Once he hits the ball, he's listening for the base.
The players here come not just from across Georgia, but from around the country. They travel to different tournaments as well as the World Series against dozens of other teams. They're working now to get more funding to host tournaments closer to home.
The majority of our funding comes out of our own pockets. We can have 2 to 3 different teams and we scrimmage each other. That's amazing. blindness is a very sedentary disability. So to have people who are blind out doing stuff, physically being active, will go a great length to change that.
That's
Absolutely
a really cool way to play the sport. Yeah.
It certainly is. And, you know, it seems like it's a lot more challenging, too.
Oh, yeah.
And it also looks a lot more fun. But it's great that we have those kinds of opportunities available. So.
I'm glad to see that the bases are padded.
Yeah. That's good. They need to be padded even for me, though. I mean, I am injury prone. Well, something else that we are prone to is more rain. Now, we've got some showers out there. They're going to be making their way out of here as the morning progresses. And then by about 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon, yeah, that's another big batch of showers and some thunderstorms out there. And as we've mentioned, the good news is ingredients aren't there for strong or severe storms. We're just talking some rumbles of thunder. These will persist with us into the overnight hours. Early tomorrow morning, we'll start to get a break. And then by tomorrow afternoon, another little round of showers and thunderstorms for some of us. And then that clears out of here, and we'll get a longer break into Thursday morning. And by Thursday morning, about 5 o'clock or so, another round of showers and thunderstorms will move into the area, and that will hang with us a little bit longer. And we'll get another break before more showers and thunderstorms move in on our Friday into Saturday morning. That said, between now and Friday, another 1, 2, 3, even upwards of 4 inches of rainfall, much needed rainfall expected across the area. And the great news with this rain is it's being spread out over several days. So we're not looking at any significant flooding concerns right now. Of course, we'll keep an eye on it, but with it being spread out so long, it really helps the ground absorb it and makes the rain a lot more useful. MoDOT camera 20th and range line. We got traffic. We got sunshine. Still, KDOT camera at 69 and 400. You can see no sunshine at all up there. And that's why, look at all those clouds out toward Pittsburgh from our camera at 7th and range line. And clouds beginning to fill in over the Joplin area. And that'll be the trend today. 46 feels like 43. Across the area, temperatures cool for sure. 47 Iola, 49 Chanute and Neodesha, 46 Chetopa, Miami and Neosho, as well as Carthage and Lamar. And we got 43 in Monette. So again, as our morning gets started, those showers will start to clear on out of here. A few of us will get a few peaks of sun throughout the day, but not that much. We'll be into the lower 50s by late morning, and our highs won't be near average for at least the next 7 to 10 days. We're going to push into the lower 60s, and then again by 4 o'clock, more showers and thunderstorms will begin to roll into the area. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Kansas is joining an effort that could one day make it easier to hire teachers from other states. A bill signed by Governor Laura Kelly makes the state the latest member of the Interstate Teacher Mobility Compact. The compact is a creation of the Council of State Governments. 10 states are required to fully enact the compact, and Kansas is only the 4th. Well, the Baxter Spring School District will adopt a 4-day school week. The Tuesday through Friday schedule will begin with the start of the new school year. School superintendent says the new schedule is designed to give students an extra day off, which is expected to help them better balance their academics. He also says the main reason for the transition is due to the lack of qualified staff. What's National Park Week? National Park Week started in 1991 as part of the 75th anniversary of the Park Service. This week, the park is celebrating every day in honor of National Park Week. The 4 states can lay claim to their own share of national parks, including historic Fort Scott.
Well, we've got some showers exiting the region this morning. Will be cloudy, a few peaks of sun for some of us. By about 3, 4 o'clock, showers, thunderstorms move back in, highs in the lower 60s. Lows tonight, upper 40s, showers and thunderstorms increase as we head into the overnight hours. We'll start to get a break as we head into the morning tomorrow before we see another round of showers and storms tomorrow afternoon. More showers and storms Thursday morning, more of them on Friday, and they'll persist through Saturday morning. A break from the rain Sunday, Monday. Temperatures, though, all week long and into next week well below average.
Well, today marks National Telephone Day.
You might need to make a phone call, and I think that this thing could still make a phone call or two. Now, usually on these national days, we tell you to celebrate by using the device or eating the food or whatever, but are we kidding? You don't need someone to tell you to use your phone. You're probably doing that too much already anyway.
Now, we can't tell you to go buy one because there are already way more mobile phones than people in the world, almost 10 billion of them. Would you believe there are close to 1 billion landlines left in the world, too? It's all thanks to Alexander Graham Bell, who patented the first telephone in 1876.
Though he may not have been part of the first person, rather, to invent a phone, that's still up for debate. But, you know, thankfully we had these. You know, we had an old rotary phone at my parents' house, you know, back when I was a kid.
Roll.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For those who may not know, so you know, I bet if we connected this thing to a phone line, it'd probably still work.
Remember payphones and?
I remember using payphones. They were actually convenient. Of course, now you got your cell phone, but still, payphones were the cell phone in a way. You could make calls from anywhere for a quarter or two.
Yeah, I remember when I started kindergarten, I only had to remember 4 numbers. Now nobody remembers any numbers.
No, your phone does it all for you. I don't know if that's good or bad. Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.